Welcome to episode 2 of Let's Break Ultima 5 Lazarus. In the last episode, we examined the Avatar's drug dependencies, armed the party with spells that we aren't supposed to have, and discovered a novel alternative to boats. Now it is time to visit the Mage Academy at Windermere University, which is in the Lake District. From the northern edge of the Great Desert, where a dragon dwells, jump into the sea and head directly east until you come to an icy island with "Beware of the Rat" signs on it. This is it. You'll need to use Blink or the grapple to teleport yourself up to the top of the mountain, but once there you'll find an obsidian tower containing 2 demons, various skeletons, and a few humans. One of the latter is a young man called Prol, which is probably pronounced something like Pootle in Welsh. Our goal is really very simple. We want to rescue Seaban the demon and Arthur the human, and then purge this heathen temple of the mortal scum within. Lastly, and most importantly, we need to take the Deathbolt spell from Elestaria's ravaged corpse as plunder. That's what we want to do. How this is actually achieved depends on the game version. In 1.1, you really have it easy. Talk to the demons and promise to find the skull buried deep within the vaults. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist owing to a goof by the map designers, but never mind. Simply waltz past the guards into the castle and give Arthur either a VPR scroll or an Ampex VPR 20 video recorder, depending on which you have to hand. Having sent Arthur on his way, the strategy I used this time was to go straight upstairs to the crypts in the basement, the castle apparently having been built upside down, and wait for Elestaria to arrive before taking her out with a glass sword. Grab her spellbook and then run out of the castle and jump down the cliff, waiting a minute or two for everyone to calm down. You will want to have your followers set to hold fire for this, or they may start assaulting the demons, which we don't want. Once the panic is over, find the new spellbook. It contains the most fabulous spell, apart from Blink, Deathbolt, also known as Full Track Erase Head. Give this appallingly powerful spell to Yolo, and put his now spare Fireball spellbook somewhere handy. We'll give it to our next recruit, Sir Geoffrey. Once everyone is tooled up, slay the skeletons, Pootle, and all the other surviving humans in a karma pummeling orgy of death and pillage. Once the castle has been left empty of all but the demons, it's time to collect our payment. Take any good weapons or armour dropped by the late occupants, in particular the jewelled sword and shield. Dump everything you can't carry into a suitable chest and rob any useful things from the other containers such as lockpicks, gems, food and VPR scrolls. Once you've got as much loot as you can carry, VPR to Britain and sell your ill-gotten hoard to the potions dealer before making your way to Trinsic. Once you've converted all your booty into gold, go back into the sea and make your way to Buccaneer's Den. You can go northeast from the Trinsic docks, southwest from the Moongate at Moonglow, or northwest from Blackthorn's Island. Once you get there, find and recruit Sir Geoffrey. Give him one of the spare Fireball spellbooks, and then wade southeast to Blackthorn's Island, there to commit a monstrous act of evil.
'Tis good to be serving the cause of virtue again.
Go into the throne room and test out Yolo's death ray on Foulwell the Jester. Awesome though the spell is, it has a very slow duty cycle, and Yolo will take up to 10 seconds to reload, so just off the Jester and run.
'Twill be done.
When it's safe, grab the Jester's rod and hat. Give these to Geoffrey. Make him wear the hat always, and he can wield the rod as his decorative weapon, like Iolo's sledgehammer, when they aren't actually in combat. Now, using a combination of fireballs and Iolo's blessing powers, systematically erase all life from the castle. Leave only the following: Blackthorn, because he can't die, and the guys in the dungeon. Oh, and the horses. Everyone else can and must be eliminated for the good of Britannia. And the experience points. Once the cleansing is done and you have taught Lord Blackthorn that being the supreme ruler of Britannia can be quite a lonely job, take the crown of Lord British from the roof. Do not wear it. The blink patch can have unpredictable effects and may jam the counter magic effect on, which would be a disaster given the party's effectiveness comes from its spells. When you kill an oppression guard, steal his chainmail and give it to Chaminot or anyone else who still has crappy armour. There are two locked areas in Blackthorn's castle: the northeast stairwell and the armoury, which is magically locked. The stairwell can be unlocked with a key obtained from the corpse of the guard captain, but there isn't much point since the party members can walk through the walls and into the stairwell anyway. Likewise with the armoury. Don't bother with the door, you can simply reach into most of the chests through the wall and abstract the contents from them. You will need a lot of money to buy back the karma which this is burning up. In 1.1 this isn't a problem, as the poor bloke in Minok will sell you a complete set of karma for about 100 gold coins. In 1.2 we have to rely on the shrines, which are 100 quid per point. What you must do is take the loot from each guard or minion that you kill and stuff it all into a chest. I use the one in the court sorcerer's room. This is important, it must go into a chest. If you just leave the booty on the ground, Blackthorn will take it, presumably burying it with its owner. Once every scrap of armour, weaponry and goodies has been crammed into the chest, and there is no one left alive apart from Blackthorn and the other untouchables, fill everyone up with as much stuff from the chest as they can carry and swim west to Serpent's Hold. Here you must sell it all. This will take several trips, but it should earn you about 12,000 gold coins, which is above and beyond the amount we need to buy an avatar hood. While you're at Serpent's Hold, beam aboard the oppression ships and get Iolo to do a full track erase on the crew. Blessed be the soldiers of the oppression. If you're still strapped for cash, a highly destructive and treasonable way of raising money would be to find a merchant who is of no further use to you, sell him the crown for 5,000 smackers, and then get it back by performing a Caesarean section upon it. Unfortunately, this does not actually work, as the crown will not come back out of his body and remains trapped in some weird limbo world. It is quite practical, however, to pawn the crown jewels off, on the assumption that you will be able to afford to buy them back later. Note that you cannot unfortunately turn in any of your followers for the £10,000 reward, although the suitably depraved can in actual fact sell the corpses of slain followers to any merchant for a single gold piece each, or in the case of Iolo, 30 pieces of silver. During the shooting of this episode, I discovered an interesting bug. If you request someone such as Julia to leave the party and then immediately murder them, they will drop a pile of gold. This pile of gold happens to exactly equal the sum which the party was carrying at the time she died. Picking up Julia's loot will in fact double your money. Using an IMC scroll to revive her, asking her to rejoin and then immediately booting her out again will allow you to repeat the process indefinitely, especially as the IMC scrolls don't seem to disappear after use. This may have been fixed in 1.2. This will allow you to become a millionaire in quite short order, although frankly this is a bug too far and I won't be using it in anger during the anti-walkthrough. Go back to Britain and stock up on potions and blink reagents from Cove. While you're in the area, visit Serpent's Spine, around where you got the glass swords. On the northern edge, there is a settlement of Ettins, who have an IMC scroll in a chest along with various other goodies. Now that you have no karma, it is probably the best time to visit New Maginsia. This is one of the most boring towns in the game. If you like, you can sort out the pretend avatar, talk to the kid about humility and fix the innkeeper's roof. Certainly, you should buy a sledgehammer from the provisioner and give this to YOLO, as it should be lighter than a warhammer. Once all possibilities of the town have been exhausted, let everyone loose upon the unsuspecting populace to increase your supply of loot and experience points. Note that as soon as the avatar touches anyone, no matter how far away, the islanders will immediately turn on Katrina and murder her on the spot for her past associations with the avatar. Do not kill the sheep. You won't gain any experience points for doing this. Instead, wait until night when the sheep are in their pen and open the gate. This has an interesting effect in that all the sheep will try to escape. Closing the gate is not sufficient to halt this exodus. They will in fact schlep through it using osmosis. There is also an evil mega sheep named Snookles, who has 400 health points, but he will not join your party, nor will you gain any experience points for killing him. Once the island has been returned to its rightful owners, the sheep, it's time to leave. The government will have to rebuild the island again, this time calling it New Maginsia. It is almost certain that you have no karma points after the massacres at Windermere University, Blackthorn's Palace and New Maginsia, so make utterly sure you don't die. Save often. Use a VPR scroll to return either to Minok or one of the shrines you've previously asked the Codex about. Either way, you can fence off the loot you've gained from your evil deeds and convert said cash into karma. Once you have at least 80% karma, return to Britain and find the old wizard dude in the pub. Ask him about the word, and assuming he gives it to you, make your way to Despise. You will need a lot of karma for this, he won't give it to bastards.
Thou Jubilo, did he tell you the word?
The fish-like creature said,
I tormented and vexed his inner spirit, master, but he would not reveal the word.
A fanatic, the goat-headed man said. It is better that he is dead. Despise is guarded by orcs and other nasty things. Fortunately, you have YOLO to bless them with his X-ray laser and 3 other fireball-wielding psychos, which makes life slightly easier. Go down into Despise, there to find and recruit Captain John and gain lots of lovely goodies. Note that in 1.2, the monsters in Despise, aka my first dungeon, can still easily turn the party into mincemeat in spite of our ill-gotten weaponry. If your idea of the virtue of compassion involves not killing any dragons, putting the party into hold fire mode will allow you to slip past them without any nasty fighting. Once you reach the core and get the crazy man to join your party, look for some plate mail and the virtue staff thing, the avatar's hitting stick. This stick is lighter than most swords and is supposedly very potent. And unless I'm much mistaken, they've taken it away in 1.2. Take the captain's amulet of turning and give it to YOLO to help prevent future charming, as YOLO running amok with his Deathbolt spell is not something you ever want to see happening. If he was wearing a spiked gorget, pass this to the captain in exchange. Note that although we have allowed the captain to join the party, we have never actually asked him for his name. As a result, everyone simply refers to him as Stranger. This includes Lord British when he is levelling up. Once this dungeon has been conquered, stock up on potions, reagents and food, and make your way back to Minok. In the original anti-walkthrough, we would now be going directly to Minok. Instead, we are going to take a short detour first in order to exploit a recent discovery of mine. This involves the Avatar's favourite pastime, murder. We need to get to Skara Brae, which, now we have the blink spell, is just a short hop off the west coast, roughly around the entrance to Shame, so we don't need to spend a precious VPR scroll getting there. Once on the island, make your way to the evil-looking tower. Find the surly mage within, and get YOLO to bless them with his gift of death. Sifting through the bits, you will find another spellbook. Give this to the captain, and now you will have 2 party members equipped with death rays. This will make life much easier when we sort out Covetous shortly. Search through his possessions and take any good potions you find, then VPR to Minok. At this point, the party should be odd enough to beat up any Shadow Lords who get in your way, although this may take multiple attempts if they get lucky with their Deathbolt attacks. It may also have undesirable side effects in that the locals will sometimes object to this, attacking you on sight for persecuting the forces of darkness, and the guards likewise attempting to arrest you. Assuming this doesn't happen, make your way to the slave child and free her using the key carefully hidden inside the bookshelf. This will replenish most of the karma we lost by attacking the oppression's archmage. The game may itself be chaotic neutral, as it doesn't seem too pleased at you attacking the bad guys. Free the slave child and find her mother in the poorhouse. She should give you the word. Use this to enter Covetous. Note that she will ask you to get someone else to take over the running of the poorhouse. We'll get to that later. After we've rescued the king, perhaps. I'm sure YOLO will remember, right? Anyway, now we have the word, we can enter Covetous. Go down Covetous, having first cleared up as much room as possible, since the tombs are filled with all kinds of good stuff which we can fence off to the food pusher in the tavern. Steal the souls of all the 5 rulers of Minok, and do whatever you have to do to get the Shard of Hatred. Try to retrieve the 5 souls, as they'll put centuries on Dan's lifespan. Everyone else can sell them to the innkeeper for a couple of bucks. When you beat up the Lich, treason can sometimes prosper, gather up all the chainmail and halberds and stuff these into the 5th king's coffin to prevent it disappearing upon your return. Note that there are at least 3 IMC scrolls throughout Covetous. At this point you could faff around with all the soul gems. It's fairly easy to brute force them if you didn't read the accompanying hint books, some of which will sometimes crash the game. Or alternatively, we could just do this. Snaffle the shard and then make your way back to the mausoleum. Take as many halberds and chainmails as you can carry and go back to Minok using a VPR scroll as need be. Sell all the goodies we robbed from the king's graves to the innkeeper, this will take at least 2 journeys, and then go to Empath Abbey where the Flame of Love is kept. In the Abbey, go to the flame and wait until the keeper arrives. Then summon What's-His-Face. This will drive her into an insane rage and she will try to beat up the Shadow Lord. This is foolish as he's immortal at this point, so don't bother trying to duff him up yourself. Instead, preferably before he kills the woman, feed his soul into the furnace. Sadly, the people of Empath Abbey don't hold a huge feast to celebrate your victory. In fact, it's quite hard to get them to acknowledge your contribution at all. This may have something to do with Lord Michael, of course. Oh well, 1 down, 2 to go. Deceit, or deceit as we call it. Deceit is pretty much self-contained. All you have to do is go to Moonglow using a VPR scroll, find the fortune teller, and ask her for the word. Then, using the power of Blink, go into the sea and walk to Dagger Isle, checking in with the shrine in order to formally complete the Honesty quest. Once this is done, swim to the small island to the east where the dungeon entrance is. Go down the dungeon and grab the shard from its pretty hiding place among the pools of water. If you're treating dragons as an endangered species, it is, by careful manipulation of the camera, possible to blink all the way past them into the outer ring where the food-stealing gremlins live, thereby avoiding the prospect of YOLO shooting them down with his death ray. Beam back to Moonglow by VPR and go to the Lyceum. Since we've already done the shrine bit, the Flame of Truth should be open to our request for Faolini's name. Be careful when talking to the Flame, as it has been known to lock up the engine if you ask it the wrong questions, so just get the name and tell it to get stuffed. At this point, the Captain will say something about saving Faolini's soul. Daniel Tifiona is actually going to eat it to increase his magical powers and lifespan. Everyone else is just going to shove it up the Flame of Truth. So, why wait? We have the name and the shard, let's set light to the little bugger. Again, there is no fanfare, so make your way to Dagger Isle. The Shrine of Honesty has now outlived its usefulness, so have YOLO smash it up with his sledgehammer. Sadly, that's all we have time for right now. In the next episode, we'll be breaking into Hithloth, stealing a few more of Lord British's relics, and possibly meeting the man himself. We'll have to see. See you then, and thanks for watching.
Just give me a moment.
Then, using your fireball-equipped comrades, slay all the humans and skeletons in a car... Then... One down, one to go. Oh well. One down, two to go. This will involve the Avatar's favorite pastime, murder. If you're still strapped for crap, look. Once everyone is tooled up, slay the skeletons. There. Sadly, the people of Empath Alley don't hold a future. Blah. This will allow you to become a millionaire in quite short order, although frankly... Oh dear. Right. What has happened?